Hi, and welcome to the first week of the 7-week cosmic journey. We are tapping into the flow of love with this week, and it begins on April 17th, and it will be going over for the course of 7 days. And as soon as the first day begins, we kind of already feel something is shifting. There's a new energy that we can tap into. So remember, what we want to do is we want to remove the blockages that are disconnecting us from the blessings of each particular aspect of these 7 dimensions that we're going through. So every dimension has 7 dimensions within it, which is why, just to remind you, we have 7 days to kind of encounter that particular energy. So once again, it's about being mindful, and there's a daily consciousness below this video that you can read about every day, and it's going to kind of give you some guidance, specifically what you might encounter and some things that you want to be mindful of. So let's just talk briefly about this. Well, briefly, I mean, there's just so much to talk about because we're in this realm, and this is definitely a week and a realm of compassion and loving kindness and generosity and love, and allowing that flow of love. All right. So if we can kind of all agree that each and every one of us needs and wants love in our life, okay? And the funny thing is that we actually already have love, but maybe we don't see love. And this is what I was kind of talking about with the introduction, is that we often forget how much love that we have, and then we operate in this place of deprivation. So this is kind of like why so many of us, we need love and we want love, and we don't really see that we have love. So at the same time, we all need, and it's funny that we call it this, but we all need space, okay? Now, I would argue that true love is more powerful than time and space. It applies. It's beyond it. It's a spiritual energy. But I think we all kind of agree, also that love is something that is not always spiritual. It's something else, and we call it love. But either way, we do need space, and we need the ability to hold love and to contain love. Now, just as love, or the deprivation of it, can feed or starve the soul, an overflow of untempered love can be smothering, okay? It's like overwatering a plant. Love is actually a flow. Nature knows how to take care of the plants and everything. So we have to, this week, step into how we can reprogram ourselves to be channels of this love, unconditioned love. So if someone's bothering us, and or someone's just annoying us or really testing us, then we have to be mindful of being loving, because it's easy to love when it's all just so great and wonderful. But when we are scared or annoyed or stressed out or uncertain or angry, actually, if we can still manage to be loving in those moments, then we know we've become unconditioned with our love. So learning to really master that unconditioned love is the key to success in relationships, every aspect of our life, in business, in our personal relationships. And that's how we can also be very fluid with the way that we go about life. So I think this is so important to really understand this, as this is the first week of the 7-week journey. There's an extra amount of energy to help us kind of overcome our karma that we are facing throughout this week. So with the first step here, we're really at the source where we can affect change in that source code of existence. And it's a very special 7 days because we are granted that ability to get out of that smallness, to get out of that slave kind of mentality of meaninglessness and deprivation. So once again, the karma that we are going to face this week is going to show us where we stand with our barriers and if we believe in them, okay? Or if we have faith to overcome them. And I'm telling you guys, each and every one of us, we have that ability to overcome any kind of barrier that we're facing. Now, thinking about the tree of life that's above my head here, probably above yours too, it has roots, and it has we are here. It has roots here, like with the lowest dimension, and then it has the branches, and actually it gets very specific and detailed. I don't have it here, but perhaps I will do another class on that. But it has these different aspects to it, just like an actual tree does. A tree has roots, and a tree has branches. And if there is an illness in one part, then it's like you can heal the entire tree by healing the root. And that's what's so amazing about our world, is that we can heal everything by doing the work here at the root in the physical realm, okay? Because this is where we can do action. It's not that we go into like some spiritual dimension and we think we can do actions there and it's going to fix everything. It's like, the thing is, you can go into spiritual realms, but you can't necessarily do actions. You can only do actions here. But we need to be able to connect from here to the spiritual realms, so that we can dial in and plug in. And if we can't do that, then we can't bring that energy here so that we can act. We can go and sit in the energy, but we need to act with that energy. And that's essentially the difference between love and unconditioned love. Unconditioned love is really, truly love in action, okay? So when we have unconditioned love, we are able to heal and bring loving energy to the root of anything, okay? If you just try to ignore the root cause of something, you're just working with the symptoms. You're not really preventing a recycle or repeat of a situation. It could happen again and again and again, as we learn in the karma workshops. For anyone who had the luck to do it, maybe I will I'm like, okay, so it seems like there's more more ideas for classes, but it's really like there are situations in our life that repeat over and over and over again, and they are trying to tell us and teach us something is repeating, and we have to take it off repeat. So the way that we can do that is kind of stepping out of that time-space axis and stepping into that energy of love. And when we step out of the time-space axis, what happens is that we are doing what's called removing process from our life. So we're removing the time and the space from our life so that we can connect things and have them be complete, and therefore and thereby time begins to kind of work for us, okay? So we're able to eliminate the dominance of time and space. And what happens is that time and space, we try so hard to understand that they are one, okay? But truly they are one. And when we need them to be one, then we know that we are in a separation, okay? We know that we are in a separation because one is always oneness. It's wholeness, it's perfect unity. If we are trying to become one with something, then we know we are in separation, okay? We know we are in separation. If we know that we need to unite and accomplish something, we know we are in separation, If we have a goal, if we have an intention, we know that we have to work towards uniting with that goal. But what happens is that we kind of hesitate because the thing that separates us from us and our goal is time and space. Okay? It's time and space. So in time, what happens is that if we are going along on our journey, we are essentially vulnerable to negative influences. And this is just part and package of being like, it's just part and package of trying to unite with anything. If we are striving for union, we are vulnerable to negative forces. In the same way, if we are going on a journey, even in the old days when we had the donkeys before we had the cars, there were threats on the journey that we had to be mindful of. And anytime we go on a journey, whether it's through a journey through the tree of life, a tarot journey, a travel journey, we have to be mindful of things. Why do you think the insurance industry is like a huge enforced in many jurisdictions industry? Because so many things can happen, because that is the condition of striving for something, and it's absolutely amazing. But we get afraid to put ourselves like out there and make ourselves vulnerable, like in our perspective, as if we're not vulnerable already. But beside the point, we hesitate, okay? And then something that could have been like recent will take longer, or it won't happen at all. And every time that we keep delaying things, what happens is that they become more and more difficult to unite with. And we have to not only then deal with the outside influences, but then we have to deal with our own procrastination, our own hesitation, our own time issues. And then our patterns and our programs are running against us. So this week, we're granted the opportunity to reprogram that and the obstacles and the oppositions that are delaying our union, that are delaying our ability to unite. So if you could manage this, you can shrink down time and things get instantly fulfilled. Now, this includes the good, but also, I don't want to say bad, but I want to say the things we have to take care of, like, the instant karma, which is really a blessing, because then we can take care of things right away. Right away. Now, it's also amazing because the moment that you want something, you can also receive it right away. And there are no obstacles or process or anything around that. So this is that purpose of this dimension of this first week, is that we can really break down, reprogram the time-space limitations and the constrictions, and it can bring things to moving faster, into uniting, into our achievement in a quicker pace. Okay, very, 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 very effective in the sense that we can be more effective with our time. Okay, so we're granted this opportunity every day to choose things, how we want to go about doing it. Okay, how do we want to go about doing it? Now, we will be challenged with the sense of, is it our ego or is it what's called the essential self, like the higher self working through the ego, or is it the ego working through you? Okay, very, very, very important. That's where we get the saying, be careful what you wish for, because the thing is that this technology, it works either way. So if we want to satisfy the ego, we have to pay the price. Okay, and what we get will be temporary, even though it might be nice in the moment. Okay, but the other warning is that if we go for ego gratification, if we're not able to really control our childish impulses, whether it's punishing, pouting, whatever it is, what happens is that we will then pass on something even greater, that our ego is not aware of, but our essential self is. So then we get constantly this feeling that we're missing out on something, that something is missing, and it's putting us deeper into a state of deprivation. Because, and that's the thing, each and every one of us, we're granted this opportunity to choose things that we can buy with our ego, or we can choose things that money cannot buy. Okay? And really rebuild and reprogram our character. Our egos, like, they want the quick fix, but it's our job to kind of control that and to choose what is it that you want. Do you want the quick fix, or do you want like the immortality? Do you want the everything? That's only our choice. Do we want it all, or do we just want what the ego, like the little crumb that the ego wants, that like thinks it's everything, And this happens so many times to us, like day in, day out, all the time. So be very mindful of that this week, because this is that process of life. And these are the laws of being human. And when you choose one, it's going to take away power from the other. So if you're investing in a greater payoff, it's going to set pathways in the brain and in the reality that we are living that kind of life, and the life will support us in that way. But if we want to go for the crumbs, then the reality is going to react in that way as well. So I'm not saying, you guys, that this is a process of rejecting the nice things. We just don't want to hold on to them. We need to see where we are coming from and see the wisdom in kind of assessing and investing in the priceless wealth and the unconditioned things, because they will bring everything, okay? Now, I understand it's very difficult to live in this material world and to earn this fulfillment, but that's our task throughout these 7 weeks, to not be gifted the quick fix, but to earn everything. So really, that's like something that we all have to think about. And I like to use the example, if you want to choose like living in a home over a designer house, then the universe is going to provide you with the home. But if you want a designer house so that you can show off, then you're going to trade away the ability to have that loving home. Now, the thing is that if you find yourself in that designer house without the love, or if you find yourself in the home without the nice things, you can balance it out. But the thing is, like, if you're in a loving home, chances are that it is nice. Okay, chances are it is nice. If you're in a designer house that doesn't have love, then the relationships, everything in there will eventually kind of, it's a little bit cold. Okay, it's a little bit cold. Okay, so we are learning throughout this week, you guys, that the universe wants to help us to earn everything that we want and then some. Because we are really destined to have everything at all time, even more than we can possibly imagine. And if we really accepted that, we would have no entitlement whatsoever. So we need to discover what defines real fulfillment this week, and what is that temporary happiness that I was talking about. So when we are authentic with our desires for happiness, then everything will come to us and they will support us with what it is that we want. And this way we can have everything. And we shouldn't ask for less at all. Okay? We shouldn't ask for less. And just know that the problem is we're just not used to thinking in this way. And yeah, I'm saying it sounds easier said than done, but it isn't, It isn't easier said than done. It can take many, many times to get there, but you guys, it is possible. It is possible. And the reason why I say it's not easier said than done is because just saying it is already putting us on that journey of saying, this is what I want. Okay? This is what I want. This is what I want to do. I want to reprogram myself. I want to reprogram my reality. So, of course, now, since this is the first week, think about what it is that you want to reprogram, and we can make this change throughout the week as we're going through each day, and you're seeing how are you being triggered with these different energies, these different days, because that's going to tell you the blessing, that key ingredient that you need, that's preventing you from being in that state of wholeness. Okay, so once again, we don't need to ask for love because we already have love. We already have love. Okay? We have love, we have happiness, we have healing. We just need to lift the blinders and perceive it and project it and experience it. Okay? Because our ignorance essentially is disguising all the blessings and the happiness and everything we want. Okay? Everything is already there. Because otherwise we are deprived. And that's just not the case. So we need to have that intention to remove the ignorance, the blinders, so that we can see all that we have right before us. Once again, that's what we need to do now throughout this week. We need to pray to really remove these blockages and barriers of that manifestation process that really prevents us from living that life that's on the other side of our blindness. Okay? And as we do this, the energy begins to flow to us, and time is eliminated, and the goals are manifested much quicker because everything is there right now. And as soon as you let the universe show you that, you will receive all of those rewards because you've earned them, and it'll be without delay. And this will be our focus throughout the next 7 days. We're going to focus specifically on that and the archetypes, the minor arcana, the lesser secrets that are connected to this realm and to the tap of the flow of life are right here. Okay? They're right here. So now I'm going to guide us through a nice meditation so that we can integrate the energy, and then I'm going to send you off into your week. And all I want you to do is to first look at the card on the upper right-hand corner, the Four of Wands up here. Okay? Very good. And I just want you to get into a meditative state of mind. And we're just going to breathe gently through our nose and then exhale through the mouth. And in through the nose and out the mouth. One more time, in through the nose and out the mouth. And resume normal breathing. And I want you to just look at this card and looking at these cards is going to help us, each in their particular way throughout the week, to remove any kind of obstacles that we may face. So looking once again at the Four of Wands here in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to deprogram any kind of delays or smothering energy and trade it with things coming into fruition and happiness and the ability to be protected in the energy of love. And then I want you to now look at the swords to the left of this card. And here we're reprogramming unrest with serenity and rest after any kind of illness. So it's activating mental healing and relief. And looking at the card now with the cups, we're reprogramming dissatisfaction with the material success with divine aid, patience, and persistence. And finally, looking at the card with the coins, we're reprogramming materialistic attitudes and greed with material accomplishments and realizing the value of money so that we can be skillful with it. This will help us to let go of anything that gets in the way of this flow of love and deprivation. Beautiful. Please feel free to write down your experience of the stream of consciousness. Don't forget to check the daily consciousness every day, and come back next week for the ability to let go of more blockages. Thank you guys so much. Bye.